Welcome to another episode of
I'm Not the Problem, right?
Amazing. You did so good.
Thanks.
With me, Usama Tabata, and today I have the amazing, hilarious Alistair Ogden.
Hello.
Princess Di in the flesh.
It's true. That's my big joke, isn't it?
It's a big one. It's a
Yeah.
great one.
Thank you.
Do you still do it now with this haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of works with almost every haircut, as long as I don't go really, really short. Yeah.
How
The
does it
joke
feel-
has
how-
evolved.
How
It's
does it
better
feel?
now.
Is it?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
Originally, the idea came when my now manager, at the time he wasn't my manager, we were all out to dinner in London. And he just pointed out that I kind of look like Princess Diana. And
Oh, it was him?
Yeah, I'm her. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and I was kind of in denial about it. Everyone else was like, "No, we see it." And then the joke evolved. So that would have been a couple years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's kind of, is it your opener or not really? But kind of.
Sometimes it was my opener for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now I'll throw it in the middle there sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy that an opener that you've said so many times still evolves. Like my opener, it still changes. I've been doing it for
of course.
like 8 months.
That's the fun of it, is figuring out how to make it better. And then the second you come up with a new little piece of the joke that fits, you go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of that."
I know.
earlier."
It's always so obvious after the fact.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Do you know my opener?
I don't think so. I haven't seen you do a set in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing any shows tonight?
I'm doing a show at Comedy Bar called Grandma Nutty's House. It's with Late Bad.
Okay.
I'm playing a character. It's not stand up. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, why are you doing shows?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Don't tells.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, those are fun. But yeah, we haven't done a show together in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when are you gonna book me?
I'm not even doing shows ever.
Imagine.
Well, I have one show in Toronto coming up, April 11th.
April
Just
11th.
booked that in.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Comedy Bar.
I'm available.
It's called Up Late with Alistair Ogden because it's at 11 p.m.
Oh, what day of the week is it?
Saturday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
At least it's fine.
Could be good. We'll see who my most hardcore fans are.
Fans.
Who's willing to stay
Speaking
up
of
late.
fans, what about your hardcore love interests? What's going on, Alistair Ogden?
Oh, I'm single. Been single. Been various stages of single for about 3 years now.
What does
3.5
various
years.
stages of single even mean?
Well, you get into the odd situationship.
Yeah.
You get into something you're like, maybe this could be something. The early
I
stages.
feel like you
go,
would tear up a situationship.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It sucks, but there's a certain addiction to it. I think once you get into it, I think anyone who's been in a situationship, I was thinking about that on the way here, where there's something about yearning for someone. Everybody's into yearning nowadays, and
Huge yearning ecosystem.
I feel like now I am sort of post yearning. The last sort of relationship that I was sort of in, I'm sort of on the way out of that. I haven't had anything super new come in yet, anything substantial, and it's nice, but it also feels like you're floating out there. When you're not yearning for anyone, you're not really tethered to anything. You go, "Oh wow,
Would you want to be tethered? So, is that
that's the big
is
question,
that a nervous
right?
system thing?
I think for the longest time I did. I was very intent on being like, oh no, I need to be almost pining after somebody, in order to feel. I was like, that's who I am, is my whole thing. But now I feel like I have enough friends, I have enough community, I have enough work and projects and fulfilling stuff going on that I don't feel the need so much.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, oh, it'd be fun to be in a relationship or to have something going on, but
And I think that's really good. I think it's better to be able to go into a relationship when you're fulfilled independently of a partner, and the partner's kind of colors things a little more, makes it a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I think where I'm at as well.
Yeah, I think for the longest time I was so preoccupied with, oh, does this person like me?
Yeah.
And now feel like I'm dating where I'm like, oh, do I really like this person?
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds very simplistic, but I feel like a lot of people have a really hard time doing that.
I agree. I think I don't know. I think for I don't know. Did you grow up able to attract women or not really?
No, not really.
Same,
no,
exactly. And I feel like for guys that grew up like that, it's like that validation loop of even if you don't really like want to be with that person entirely, you just don't want that rejection.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a cycle to break out of.
Yeah. Yeah. True. No, I still think I do have a hard time where I'm like, I even don't like the rejection of it. If I have to tell someone that I'm not interested anymore, I don't like the idea of them resenting me for that. So I do have a hard time, even if something is only like a few dates in, I'm like, how do I break it to this person? I don't want to see them. It's really not that big of a deal, but I do get anxious about it, which is silly. Yeah.
And you're growing? You're learning?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. How about you? I don't know what your relationship situation is.
I'm single right now.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Two single guys out on the town.
But you know, you're
out on the podcast studio.
You know, you're my first straight guest.
Really?
Yeah, straight male guest.
Huh?
How does that feel? You're breaking the wall here.
Yeah, I'm honored. That's nice. Well, thanks. Yeah. What was that a conscious choice or just who was available?
I know it was a conscious choice.
Okay.
Of like, I was like, I look at who my friends are. I book anyone that I consider a friend or can talk to conversationally. Yeah. And I was like, all right, Alistair's funny. And like, I feel like you have interesting dating. Every time I've seen you with women, I'm always like I want to learn more about what your dynamic is. So I'm like, let's see if you are the problem or aren't the problem.
That's a good question. Yeah,
You're doing improv with an X. I don't know if I can say that. I can cut it.
Sort of. We'll leave it ambiguous like that.
I love how people are like, can you be friends with your ex? Like, no, but you can do improv with them. You can do improv.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm in an improv troupe now, so I don't know if that is a sign of growth or a sign of mental decline. Yeah, but we're called Second Husband.
I like that we're 7 minutes in. 2 plugs.
2 plugs. Well, you brought it up.
Yeah, I did actually. I'm happy to plug it.
Yes,
that's part of this as well.
And I did date one person in the troupe quite a while ago now. So
yeah,
go look and see who you think it is.
Yeah, comment on it. Tag them. He's the only guy in the troupe.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I actually hope this takes off just so that you get that publicity and that engagement.
Yeah. So, but yeah, do you have segments of this podcast? Should I save my hot take for later or what?
Like usually it's a conversation. I can ask you about dates, things you learned, red flags you've had.
Because
we can always do a hot take.
That leads into the thing that I was thinking about. That I was like, oh, this is a good platform to talk about this. Because I've been talking about this with my friends recently, where there's like the age old question of like, can men and women be friends, right? And I think in a lot of cases, no, but that's not because of some biological imperative or whatever. It's because straight male relationships are so surface level. Like our platonic relationships, we really don't. And then the second that you talk to like a woman, like her base level platonic relationship is so much more emotionally intimate than any straight male relationship, that you'll talk to a woman like that and she'll be like, and how are you? And you'll be like, oh my God, she's in love with me. And that is why guys have such a hard time being friends with women.
Okay, so I'll push back on that. Why do you think like straight male relationships are so platonic? Because I can say with my personal life, my straight relationships are like more than platonic. Not like they're just we talk about our emotions and stuff like that. So that's my pushback.
Well, I think it's not across the board. That's the thing. I feel like I'm able to be friends with a lot of women and have those emotional conversations, because I realize like just because you talk about emotions with somebody doesn't mean that you are in love with. But that when I was in my early 20s, my teens, I did not understand that at all.
Yeah,
I had not really had very many like deep, fulfilling friendships, and so it was very confusing. I feel like that's where a lot of guys are at, especially when they don't talk to women on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, why is she speaking to me this way? If she's not into me, it's so confusing or whatever. And it's like, that's just the way that she speaks to her friends. Yeah. And when you really care about your friends, that's how you speak to them.
Here's something else on this. I think men and women can be friends, but from a male perspective, there's a consideration moment.
Yeah.
Where you meet a girl and in your head you kind of decide whether you would want to date them, you would want to hook up with them or just be friends. I feel like there is a quick judgment call that either changes or whatever. And then but then I think to be truly good friends with a girl, there has to be zero like sexual vibes or zero intent from either end to want to progress it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think just you can't really be like I was talking to my friend Spencer Glassman about this, and she was like, when she wants to not talk about deep stuff, she will hang out with male comedians because it's just riffs. There's nothing deep. There's no substance to the conversation. And then when she wants to get into it, that's when she'll start talking to her female friends. But I feel like I'm sort of a similar way. But although I do have a hard time, I'm able to riff for a little bit. Yeah. But especially when I'm one-on-one with someone, I'm like, I think we're probably going to have like a deep conversation. It's just the way that my brain goes. I really have a hard time having...
staying shallow.
Yeah, I'm not very good at small talk.
Yeah, because it's boring.
Yeah.
And like, it's like we're doing a script.
Yeah.
Things like we've done it with each other as well. Like before we got to know each other. And even sometimes now, it's like, hey, good. Like,
yeah, you do the little play. You do the little thing. But the second that it's like, okay, now we're chatting, it's like, let's get into something really deep. No, I love just talking about relationships and gossip and stuff like that. Yeah. To a fault. It's not good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah. I literally tell people, I go, what's the gossip? Tell me your gossip. It's a good way to start conversations.
Well, you know what? Dish, bitch. Let's
go. Well, that's the thing. I really don't feel like I don't have too much gossip, mostly because I've been touring so much lately that I spend a little bit of time with a lot of people, but I don't spend that much time with I get to see a lot of friends all over the place, but I don't really get to hang out with people super regularly like us. You know?
Yeah, this will be the longest conversation we've ever had. And how do you feel about that? You feel comfortable? Good?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's nice.
Yeah. So when I asked you to do the podcast, what was your first thought besides like, yeah, sure?
Yeah, no, I don't mind doing a podcast as long as it's with someone who doesn't feel like it's going to be a super surface level podcast. I mean, there's so much content online now where you can tell people are just doing the kind of radio voice thing. Yeah. And you go, oh God.
I know.
I had that when I did Canada's Got Talent. That was probably the most extreme example of that. Very high stakes environment. The host of that show, Lindsay, can't remember her last name, but she doesn't interact with any of the cast before you get onto the stage. Oh. I thought maybe there'd be some kind of like she would talk to us or whatever.
Nice to meet you.
No, she basically you're in the wings of the stage, and there were some people who were on before me. You don't really get to see it. There's some guy who ended up winning. He got the golden buzzer. A few performers before me, so there was definitely like people were struggling after him. That was like the big performance of our set of 9 or 10 performers, and so I'm waiting in the wings. The performance before me finishes. Lindsay's just kind of standing there. She hasn't talked to me yet. She's just kind of like going over her notes all of a sudden, and then they go, "Okay, we're rolling," and then she just switches on. And she looks at me and she goes, "Alistair, how are you feeling?" Like, she says my name as if we have like talked before. And it really caught me off guard. And it was the most nervous I've been to for any show ever. And I tried to make a joke. She goes, "How are you feeling?" And I go, "Well, I'm pretty nervous, because this is, I usually play theaters way bigger than this." That's a good one. And this theater is in Niagara Falls. It's like, I don't know, 3,000 seats or something like that.
Were there 3,000 people in there?
No. They act as though there's 3,000 people in there. I think there was maybe 1,000 people in there because the top two...
Still a lot.
Yeah. But the top 2 tiers, like floors, were taken up by the production and stuff like that. So there's no audience out there. But the main floor is all full. And she acts as if I've said something insane.
Really?
I say, I've usually performed for audiences way bigger than this. And she goes, "Oh, well, there's thousands of people out there." Oh, and hundreds of thousands watching on TV, as if I'm like an idiot.
Is that out? Is this scene out?
Huh? No, they didn't add any. They didn't have any of that interaction.
Oh,
yeah,
no, that would have been hilarious.
And I went,
I would have put it in right now.
I don't remember how I responded. I kind of blacked out at that point. I just think, oh yeah, right. And she goes, "Good luck out there." And then I go walk out, and the audition went well, but it's an incredibly surreal experience. I was in Niagara Falls that day, 12 hours on set.
Really?
The YouTube clip is 4 minutes.
Wow.
The whole thing.
Oh no.
You're just on set for 12 hours. They're getting all the content they could possibly
just in case.
want. Yeah, interviews and like behind the scenes footage and all this stuff going on. And
was it fun?
Sort of fun, but mostly it was just a learning experience. And just when you go through something that's that emotionally exhausting, it's you grow a lot.
Yeah, why was it so emotionally exhausting? Well, I guess obviously the risk of it.
Mostly because it is a terrible situation to try to do stand-up comedy in, because everyone else is doing stuff that is genuinely so visually impressive, if not also mentally impressive. Like they're doing these wild tricks and extreme feats and contortionists and stuff like that. And I go out there and I just do like super G-rated observational comedy, because that's the only type of comedy you can do really on those shows. And it went fine. Like Howie stood up and applauded for me, which is cool. But and I think everybody laughed and had a nice time. But it's very surreal. It feels very like Hunger Games. And there's people that they bring onto that show that they book because they're like, oh, this person is going to fail. And those people don't always know that that's why they're there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
And so behind the scenes, it was actually like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because there was one woman they brought on and they just embarrassed. It was just a very embarrassing audition for her.
Yeah.
And she went in with like the best of intentions and she seemed lovely. But I don't know if that audition actually ended up airing. It might have. I didn't watch the show. My mom, she watched the show. She texted me when it aired, and she went, you did a good job, but I think the show is evil."
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the X Factor once live, and they brought out people to bomb.
Yeah.
So it almost looked like that scripted riffs.
Yeah.
Like the guy made fun of Demi Lovato, and then she responded with something. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. But that was like, also I grew up in the Middle East. To me, everything on like Hollywood I thought was real.
Yeah.
And then when I got to see behind the scenes of what production is like, I'm like, oh, this is all a scam.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think any reality TV show is sort of morally, ethically dubious.
Yes.
A lot of shows in general are like that anyway. So it's just sort of the nature of making entertainment. But
also, I'm saying this, I applied to Canada's Got Talent this year.
Are they doing it again this year?
I don't think so.
No, I think that was the last season.
That's it. No more
they
talent
had
in
me
Canada.
on. They had me on. They said, that's enough. That's enough comedy. But
well, does it make you like, when you see different types of like performers, did it change the way you look at what comedy is, what stand-up is?
A little bit. Yeah, more what did that was going to Edinburgh Fringe. I went and saw some shows at Edinburgh Fringe about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Watching shows like that, you go, oh, there's so much more to what comedy can be.
Yeah.
Than just a guy standing up there talking.
Yeah.
It can also be a woman standing up there talking.
Good job. Good job. Good job, Alistair. You absolved yourself.
And this is why I came onto this podcast. Yeah. Tell people that.
Anything to talk to the Arabs now, actually. Just address the Arabs. Actually, it's funny. I think more Arab people in the GTA know your comedy than most comedians.
True. Yeah. Hassan had me on the Winter Garden show last year.
Yeah.
And that was big. People recognize me from that show, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to write any Ramadan specific material this year?
Maybe not Ramadan specific, but when I was on tour with Hassan this fall, I sort of developed a little chunk of material that was sort of specifically for his audience, and the juxtaposition of me being there and all that. And, I recite the beginning of the Shahada. I'm not kidding. Everyone gets really excited.
Brother, if you want to go viral, brother, let's rip it right now. I'm not the problem, right, brother? You will not be the problem after this. Actually, we will solve all your problems. Repeat after me.
Yeah.
So how much of it can you say?
Ashhadu Allah I can't remember the next.
Ashhadu is right. The rest is not it. Fam.
No, okay. I remember. But I did have a show where when I thought of the joke where it like fits in context for me to, I was just backstage at Hassan's shows repeating the beginning of the Shahada over and over and over again so I could get it right on stage. Just a theater in Ottawa.
Dude, you know what? You know what I would pay for that footage? That behind the scenes?
Yeah, exactly.
Of Alistair going, Ashhadu la la. That's actually the closest you'll ever be to being a Muslim that's nervous before something.
Just edging Islam.
Oh my God. Oh, and brother, you look like Princess Diana. You have no idea how much we want you to join Islam.
I know.
That would be you completing our theory.
That was actually when I did the Idiot Mubarak show last year. The Muzz, the app, they were sponsoring the show, so they had some like reps backstage, and because I did the first show, and they posted on their stories all the performers except me. And I just jokingly said to one of them, I was like, do I need to convert before you put me on the stories? And the guy like pretty seriously went, if you converted, you'd be the face of the app.
Dude, that's amazing. But do you know about Arabs' obsession with Princess Diana? Do you know this is a thing?
I'm well aware of it. Yeah. Hassan's audiences enjoy that joke more than almost any audience.
Yeah, because there's like a legit conspiracy that the reason why they killed her is because she was going to convert to Islam. Brother, you need to do this for us. Are you a true ally? You're barely a Christian. You're barely a Christian.
I've been atheist. Are you
an atheist?
My parents are both.
Then, bro, hop on board. What do you lose? You're gonna make millions, brother.
No, I can't become I can't. I have to really believe it. I have to really believe it.
Listen, we can start with it, and then we'll work your way around.
Okay.
Would you date a Muslim?
Yeah.
But like, if you're an atheist, actually, so then you care about the religious beliefs.
I think
of the whether Christian, Jewish, doesn't matter.
I think the thing that I really admire about a lot of religions is the sense of community. Yeah, I think that's what really you lack if you don't have that. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like when you get really involved, it becomes your whole identity. Then you rely on it too much, and then that's when more problematic beliefs creep in a lot of the time. Of course. Yeah. But I spent a lot of the time in my teenage years being an atheist my whole identity. I was like, that's so stupid. I wouldn't believe any of that stuff or whatever. And then you realize it's just a very isolating way to live. So it's funny though, because my parents both are my mom's a science journalist. My dad works in IT. They're both big nerds. They both have read all the Richard Dawkins books and Christopher Hitchens and all that. And so there is a part of me where I'm it would be very funny. The main way that I would rebel against my parents if I wanted to would be by becoming religious or spiritual or something like that. Brother. That would be really funny. That or getting a tattoo. My parents. My parents. Yeah.
I love that faith and tattoo are on the same page.
Yeah. It's an interest. I don't know if it's some Britishness or something like that where I genuinely think my parents would have an easier time with me coming out as queer or trans than me getting a tattoo.
Really?
If I came in and I was actually, I'm gender, I'm a woman or something like that, my mom would be like, that's fine, we love you. And I come home, I got a big a tattoo on my arm. My mom would be like, I'm gonna need a few days.
By the way, I think I would agree with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know
actually,
what.
No, I don't know. No. My mom actually. No, not my mom. Maybe my dad. My mom wanted to get tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to get 3 stars. So we just got her henna.
Yeah.
You know, henna.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of got scared out of getting tattoos. So
100%. Me too.
Yeah.
The propaganda of my parents against tattoos worked.
Yeah.
And now I'm thankful for it. I'm glad I don't have tattoos.
I think mostly because I just know that even when I look at a photo of myself from a few years ago, I do my hair a certain way, I wear a dress a certain I'm like, oh yeah, I would not like whatever tattoo I got even 3 years ago.
I wish you were here earlier. I was just talking in the last episode about how every 3 years you'll look back at whatever you were and you're like, that was cringy.
Mm-hmm.
The way I dressed, the way
I think that's good. That's good though.
Exactly.
I think Daniel Sloss talked about that where he's like, whenever I watch one of my old specials, I just cringe. I go, oh my God, I can't believe that's what I was doing.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I have that. I have that with sets I did a couple weeks ago.
Me too. I have it with stuff I'm saying now.
As it's coming out of my mouth.
I'm like, oh, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, no. And like, and also with tattoos, like when you really want to get one is when you're like, your frontal lobe isn't even developed. You're like 20.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. This means a lot to me. You don't know what anything means.
Yeah. Well, and the closest I've gotten to getting a tattoo ever is when I'm in just times of emotional turmoil.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're broken, you want to get edgy.
Yeah, or you go through a breakup or something like that. You go, I'm going to be a different guy now. I'm going to be different. I'm going to smoke a cigarette.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
You know what's funny? Me too. I've like basically never had I've never inhaled a cigarette.
Yeah.
But one day when I was 16, I was so mad at my dad.
Yeah.
I went to my friend. I'm like, yo, give me a cigarette. He goes, Sama, you don't smoke. I'm like, give me a cigarette. So then I smoked 3 cigarettes like this, just exhaling.
Yeah.
Like reverse Wim Hof. I smoked 3, so dizzy.
Yeah.
Didn't even inhale, and I've never had a cigarette since.
Yeah. No,
what's the most toxic thing you've done after a breakup?
We broke. This was the big breakup I had like 3 years ago, and we broke up at the end of September, and then her birthday was like a month later, and I called her on her birthday.
That's not that toxic.
It just as soon as she picked up, I was like, this was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah. I was just trying to get some kind of connection from her that just wasn't there. Felt awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really, sometimes it takes a big breakup.
It's also how she said like hello. You probably felt devastated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
You're like, you don't want me calling you. You don't want this. You don't want to have to do this.
Yeah. No, I still regret doing that. No, I think there's something about going through a breakup you regress.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I regressed to who I was before the relationship, which was like, because this was a breakup when I was like 27, and then the relationship was about 5.5, 6 years long. Yeah. So I felt like almost like a teenager again.
Yeah. That makes sense given that time.
Yeah.
It means like you kind of don't know where your base is. Yeah. So you kind of catch yourself eventually. Yeah. And then like you take like 10 steps back to eventually go 20 steps forward.
Yeah. I don't think I have done anything super toxic after a breakup. I've mostly just done stuff that I regret, like in terms of just acting immaturely or things like that, but not anything that's like crazy toxic. Like I guess
what did you learn most about yourself after the tough breakup? Because like that's usually the one when you learn and grow the most.
Well, they say that it takes about half the time of the relationship to get over it. And I think that is true, which is so annoying because it was a 5.5 year relationship. So it really did take me like 2.5, almost 3 years that I was like, oh, I am done with that. That's a big thing to learn. My friend Dan also gave me a really good piece of advice with the breakup. Is that it's like running a hurdles race, but you don't know when any of the hurdles are going to come. Sometimes you think you've finished the entire race, and then suddenly there's another hurdle. You like see a photo of her somewhere or like something like that, and you go, oh, there's another one. Okay, here we go.
But in terms of like, of like learning you've had about yourself, what was that? Or what were they?
Probably just that I like I think still I have this thing where I'm like, sometimes I need somebody to give me permission to really be myself.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone to like co-sign that, like, oh, that's okay for you to be really silly or act like just in a very like dumb, comfortable way. But I found, like, especially on stage lately, I've been feeling like just so much more comfortable being just like grounded and very silly, and not having this thing where I'm like, oh, I need to come off as super cool. That's something that afflicts 100% straight male comedians like nothing else, where they go,
1000%.
I need to be so cool up there. And then you just come off like this sort of
it's obvious,
stilted like asshole, you know? And yeah, like even last night on stage, there was some guy who like heckled some weird stuff, and I said, what's your name? And he said, Shy. And I said, well, you're not very. And it got a laugh because it was so quick. And then after, I was like, I gotta be honest, I'm really proud of myself for that. Because I was. But like, if you're not letting, if you just are so like, oh, I need to seem cool, I need to seem like that was nothing to me.
Yeah.
Then it takes away from that extra little bit of silliness
of who you are.
Yeah.
Also, this is something I discussed with another guest. What do you think the definition of cool is?
I don't really know. I don't think of myself as a particularly cool person.
But what is cool? I think
it's just when you're able to like really be yourself and be comfortable with yourself.
That is the exact answer.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think sometimes people are really being themselves, and it's not cool at all, because what they are is like just doesn't quite fit with what society thinks is interesting.
So okay.
So there's that
I see what you mean. You're taking like the societal lens of like a cool person, like
usually,
Lenny Kravitz. Or
yeah.
whatever.
There's certain people that have like a charisma or a magnetism to them.
Yes.
But they are just, they're not, they're not Charlie XCX or whatever. Yes. Because her being herself happens to be also what society is like. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So both of those things need to line up a little bit.
Yeah, and I also think, especially with straight stand-ups, and I saw this in myself, that I like recently, I'm like stop trying to be cool, and then I see other comics try to, even the way they talk.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, that's not how you talk. We talk off stage.
Yeah, exactly.
You goof.
Yeah.
I forgot what my point was. Not wanting to be cool.
Yeah, I think also too, I've had like going to Vancouver, I did like an open mic or stuff, and I was talking to like newer comics, or people want advice and stuff like that. And really the biggest thing, I was so obsessed with like figuring out the joke structure and how to set, what is the coolest way to tell this story and all this stuff. And really, the first few years of doing comedy, my main note to people is like, just be honest with me.
Yeah.
I don't even really care that much if it's that funny. If you're saying something interesting and honest, then you'll probably find something funny in it. But so many comics, they go on stage and they're just, the punchline is so clearly not true.
Yeah.
And that's why the audience isn't laughing, because they go, oh, okay, yeah, structurally that's a joke, but...
And it's more predictable when it's the cool answer or the cooler delivery.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm seeing comics do sets that I go, oh, okay, and like just you're a couple years in, and there is like a real truth and to what you're saying, and it just makes it a lot better. Yeah.
And I guess another just fun like segment we could be like, what are your What are the red flags you've been told you have that you were like, fuck, bang on?
I don't know if people have specifically been like, oh, you have this red flag necessarily. I think I definitely had a period post breakup where I just struggled with that balance of like wanting validation from people, but also not being able to like commit. I get stuck in that gray area a lot, where I go, okay, this person is cool, I like hanging out with her, we're having a good time, but I don't feel like we're gonna fall in love. And yeah, and then you just, it's sort of, you're sort of at an impasse, but I didn't have like the language to really communicate that with people. And still that's something that I'm like, oh, I need to figure out. Because I feel like I know pretty early on when I really like someone or when I am going to really like someone. How early
do you know? I always say, I have a theory on this.
I feel like I know sometimes like
immediately.
I think the second time that I meet them or go on a date with them, the second time, because you kind of need the first date or the first meeting, you go, okay, this person's interesting. And then if you're thinking about them afterwards, and then the second time you see them, if that is amplified. Yeah. And then afterwards you're still thinking about them more, then it's like, oh, that's gonna spiral, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I think like you don't know how far it can go, but I think for me, in the first like 15 seconds, I can determine whether or not there will be a second date or third date. Not that it'll be forever.
You got TikTok brain.
I'm tapped in, dude.
There's not a hook. There's not a hook within the first 2 seconds. You're not going viral, honey.
Yeah, we're not. Oh my God, you nailed it, dude. That's exactly my thesis here.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, but there's also I read and then listened to a lot of Esther Perel. You know her?
I know her, yeah.
She's a relationship therapist who wrote this book called Mating in Captivity, and she has this podcast where she talks to couples or just individuals, and it's like a one therapy session with this person. And there was this lady who was like in her early or mid 30s, and she was just very worried about like, oh, I feel like I'm not going to find a long-term relationship. I feel like I'm dating with intention, and I'm like being very clear about the expectations I have with men when we first start dating and all this stuff. And then they'll ghost me or just won't work out. Like I won't get into a serious relationship. It just doesn't seem like it's happening. And Esther's main thesis statement with her is like, sometimes when you have that really clear expectation of what you want, then it takes the spark and the magic out of the beginning, because and I feel like that's the case too with dating apps. When you say, oh, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, all of a sudden the first date has all this weight to it, whereas that has not been the case really ever, where like most of the time you meet someone and you go, I don't know what they're looking for exactly, and I need to figure that out. And that's how you learn how to like communicate with them, and all this mystery that you have to figure out. But I think it's healthy to really learn how to do all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't really believe in dating apps. I don't think, for me anyway.
Yeah, I think it depends on you. Because I've had friends get married from the apps.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't
think for me as well. Also, I think because we're comedians and like a lot of our vibe comes with our energy and like what energy we pick up from people, it has to be in person.
Yeah.
Being like there's only so much you can do with like from texting someone on Hinge.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
I've met some cool people from dating apps. Yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't really feel like
the electricity isn't there when it's not organic and slower burn as well.
Yeah. Plus, we're lucky as comics, we meet a lot more people than most people do. You know, so I think it's some people with dating apps. It's like, okay, if you're just at work and then you're hanging out with your family, you're hanging out with your friends, very limited pool of acquaintances 100%. That you're going to have. So you might as well use the apps.
I would say we meet too many people.
I have lately have had an issue where I'll say nice to meet you, and someone goes, well, we met
100 times.
We met. You can't remember me, asshole.
Yeah, no, because like people remember watching you perform. I'm not remember every audience member ever.
No, yeah, people.
That's why we should be done with names.
I feel like I need to have some kind of method to really remember people.
It's impossible. I think it's impossible to remember every audience member that's seen you, bro. Come on.
No, for sure, definitely difficult.
Especially those that have come back like twice or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I think I just gotta say, hey, good to see you.
Yeah, I think if you want me to remember you, you got to do something sort of strange and unusual as an audience member, but hopefully good.
Hopefully good.
Maybe give me a gift or something
Yeah. Money, compliments. You're my favorite comedian.
Yeah, or if you tell me like a fun story.
You came up in conversation recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, someone was like, oh, I went to the show and this guy heckled me. And then I'm like, you're going to love this. I'm like, what does he look like? He's like, he's taller. He's white. He's handsome. And then he goes, he has a joke about being called Buddy. I'm like, oh, Alistair.
What? Yeah, was it? That must have been a while. I feel like I haven't done that joke.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
like over a year ago. He goes, I was in the crowd and my name was whatever. And then you crowd worked him. And he still thinks about that moment. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I had for the listener, for the viewer, I have this joke where I talk about the different levels of nicknames that guys have for each other, like buddy, bro, my man, all this stuff. And eventually the joke gets to a place where I talk about the being called daddy. I ask if there's anyone been called daddy in the bedroom, whatever. I'll usually single out a guy. And whether he says yes or no, it's sort of like a choose your own adventure. He's not aware of it. It seems like I'm just chat, but there's like a whole arc of things that I follow. And the crux of it is that I tell him, like, this is how I know we're going to be connected now, is that whenever in the future, if and when you do get called daddy in the bedroom, you're going to be thinking about me. And I've told this joke countless times. So there are men across this nation that are thinking about me.
Why did you change your tone for just... They think about me.
It's the power of comedy.
Yeah, I do like the idea that you just do that joke for men to think about you.
Well, the thing that I really do love is I usually try to single out a guy who kind of looks like an asshole. That's when it feels the best, because sometimes I talk to a guy in the front and he seems like a sort of kindred spirit and I almost feel bad doing it. Sometimes I will abort it because I actually don't want to do that to that guy. But when it's a guy, especially if it's a guy who's heckled or a guy who's been kind of an asshole, and I get to spin him on that. And the beginning of the joke, I ask if you've been called daddy in the bedroom. He goes, yeah. He thinks he's cool. Yeah. And then I get to flip it around. Yeah, and there's no way for him to get out of that.
No, look at you, little trap.
And the more like homophobic he is, the more he's gonna be thinking about it, because he's gonna be like, I can't think about. No, I can't think about. I can't. There I am.
You're using your powers for good, Alistair.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's super fun. I love doing stand up. Yeah.
Before we leave it off here, I want you to tell me something you've never told anyone ever. No, imagine.
Oh my God.
The deepest exclusive.
Oh my God.
What happened to you when
slumber party vibes?
Yeah. That's actually a good nickname for a podcast, but I'm pretty sure that 7 exists. Would you say you are the problem or no?
Depends on the situation. I think that probably the last... I think I've had 4 recent like things that almost became relationships.
That's a flag
in the last, man. Yeah. And I think
so. Okay, real quick, why did the 4 not pan out? If you're comfortable.
Okay, I think one of them is because I was just a rebound.
Okay,
I think that's safe to say. One of them it was because
it's pretty fun to be the rebound.
Yeah,
actually, no, it's not. The most damage I've been done is when I was the rebound.
Well, it's only fun to be a rebound when you're fully aware that you're being a rebound.
Yeah.
Sometimes you like fall for it. You think, oh,
this is real.
Yeah. That was what happened to me in that one. I think one of them, I think, sort of like fundamentally, it just wasn't going to work because I wanted to be a comedian and she just didn't want to live the lifestyle that would.
Oh yeah, no, that's like a prereq.
Yeah. So I think that is not really me. In my like career was the problem, I guess. But
that's fair.
Something like that. And then the other 2, I would say, I was more of the problem. Probably. Yeah.
You know, you were doing so good. You came out the gates. I'm like, you know what, Alistair seems like a good guy now.
Yeah.
Alistair.
Well, I think the other 2 was mostly just like a lack of me communicating. One of them, I was just sort of like we lived in different cities, and we would go visit, and it was just like, oh, okay, it seems like more of a casual thing, and then, but I wasn't super clear about that, and then it kind of like blew up because we hadn't set up like specific, boundaries or parameters for what the relationship was, and so she was she was upset with me, and I get that. And then the other relationship, it was just like I was so anxious about trying to be like the perfect guy.
Oh, that kills you, by the way.
Yeah.
When you're anxious about being not like upsetting her or anything, it's like a downward spiral of disaster.
Yeah. And so then it's just and it was, everything was like moving quite fast, and I think I just like got so caught up in that, got so anxious that when we did get into like a little fight about something, I let it like really spiral.
I relate to this one a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what I would say. That's my fairly diplomatic answer about whether I'm the problem. Depends on the context. By the way, this was such a roller coaster. I'm like, he's not the problem. He's not the problem. He is the problem. He's me. Perfect.
So that's my diagnosis. You're just me. That's Alistair Ogden. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
And let us know, are we the problem? Because we're in this together, brother.
Yeah. Let us know if we're the problem, and how we can fix that, and give me some more literature to read and podcasts to listen to.
And just repeat after me. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye. That was great.